talk a little bit about the requirements for Nacha 26, the timing. I mean, what comes to mind in terms of, what these financial institutions can expect?
So previously and currently even, because these rules are not in effect yet, you have incoming items. So we're going to talk about incoming first. You have incoming ACH items. They come in. If there's like maybe a hold or something on the account for some reason why the item can't post, it goes out to an exception. It's reviewed by a department, and then it's either manually forced through or rejected back out to the network. And a lot of times that's the extent of what happens around just incoming ACH in general. There has not been any sort of extensive monitoring in place. Comes in, posts or doesn't post, you move on about your day. Everything's always been focused around the origination piece. So when talks of this coming into a potential rule change came into play, I was actually really excited to hear about it because it's not shifting liability, but it's starting to put visibility on incoming items. Whether there's a liability shift or not coming down the pipeline, we don't know yet. I would kind of expect it to yes, something be happening on down the road, but it's probably years from now. But again, there's been nothing said one way or the other. But having financial institutions being able to identify irregular patterns or anomalies for incoming items, it's something they really should be monitoring too. And I'm all for it. I think it's starting to share some of that responsibility, and I think that's where we're going to kind of continue to see that shift in the industry as the years pass. But we're one of the things that we're going to be looking at for us with our Nacha 2026 rule change, like reporting that we're going to be doing, is incoming credits. And there's a lot of work that goes into play once fraudulent items post at a financial institution. And so because it's time, it's resources, it's research that has to be done once this stuff starts to happen. And financial institutions a lot of times are oblivious to it because, again, nobody's looking at it. You let it post, and then if something comes up, then you're forced to research it and you take whatever action. So this, again, gives you the ability to be a little bit more proactive. But again, it's also helping protect the network. So if you can start monitoring to some of these anomalies coming in, these odd items, then you have the ability to take action early and return it if you want to. Get it back out to the network. Get it back out to the originator. So that's kind of like my take on the credit piece. Scott, I don't know if you want to talk about the debit piece or if you had more stuff you wanted to add.
Well, I would just say, why don't you talk about, so there's this package that we built for our clients for Nacha 26. And it's, one of the things about being one of our clients that we're always investing in our people, tools, and data, making it better. But we have this vision, and we have a webinar about this that goes into it in great detail. But just at a high level, what's the essence of the initial package of content and services we're building for Nacha 26 on the RDFI side?
Yeah, so a traditional ACH origination engine is often rules-based. Is it over or under the dollar limit? Is it an approved SEC code? We don't think that's going to work on the incoming item side because it's a lot of the time the fraudulent activity is within the account's normal activity of behavior. It's just an irregularity, right? So they might have received transactions before. You can't just say we'll flag all transactions over $5,000 because for some accounts, right, that would be irregular activity, but for plenty of other accounts, that would be just daily process. So what you really need to look for is on an account by account or type by type transaction, what is considered normal and what is considered, irregular, and then just identify those items as irregular. So for example, how many tax deposits, credits should be coming into an account on an annual basis? And then how far over that, baseline number before you start flagging those transactions and say, hey, let's take a look at this. Maybe they've just had to file a lot of amended returns. Maybe it's a tax preparer using their personal account for funds distribution. Maybe it is true fraud where someone is filing tax claims on behalf of other people, stealing their tax returns. Those are all three possible cases, but you want to identify those transactions that don't match the normal pattern. If an originator was dormant for an extended period of time and they've started reinitiating, maybe it's a seasonal business, maybe it's an account takeover, account credential scam. But then the real big one is velocity changes. That is, again, is on an account by account basis. What is normal for this account and then what is irregular? And we only want to flag those transactions that are irregular for an opportunity for review. And that's how we're going to be approaching this, is saying what is standard, what falls outside of that standard, significantly outside of that standard, and then identifying those transactions.